What's up, everybody? It's your girl Lauren Rei right here on What Are Eyes Radio, and it's the Lauren Rei Live Show.
Yeah.
What's up, Jay?
What's up? I'm chilling.
You back.
I know. I had to take a little hiatus, but I'm good.
Jay is back, everybody. We are happy to see you here. How's things been going?
It's going. It's going.
Yo, I'm just ready for winter to be over.
First quarter's almost done. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of changes coming up for myself, but I'm good.
Spring, where are you?
I'm waiting.
Somebody put up a meme the other day and said, "Spring out here playing around, just giving us the tip." I was gone. I was like, what?
Season, right?
What was
Seems
going
about
on?
right. Seems about right.
Right?
It'll show its face, but then it'll go away.
It'll be here. It'll be here.
Yeah, I'm not stressing.
Well, everybody, we are here with another show today. Another amazing guest.
As always.
Yes. Actually, Brad was here before on the Lauren Rei Live Show with his amazing play, Chasing Cash. Mm-hmm. But he has a book out right now that is really, really dope.
Writers are going to write.
Yes, they are. So we have Mr. Brad Baker here in the building. Brad, what's up? How are you?
What's going on? Thank you for having me back.
Yes. Yeah, we definitely wanted to talk to you about this book because Twisted, Her Life, His Secret is full of drama and a lot of good stuff.
You're speaking Lauren's language
right
there.
I was like, ooh, let me jump into this tea real quick, right? So, but before we get into the book, let's talk a little bit about you for the people who didn't get a chance to listen to the first interview. Mm-hmm. So you are from Philly.
Yes.
And
originally from Norristown. I've been in Philly for the last probably 20 years.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. So you actually started out in front of the camera with being an actor and doing some plays and stuff like that. So talk a little bit about how you got into the business.
So originally I was an actor. Got in it by mistake, had a business degree, seen this girl in the club one day. Mm-hmm. She walked up to me and she like, you gotta look, you should be in my movie. So of course my friends think she's trying to crack on me, whatever.
She is
serious. She probably was. Shout out to Fee. And she let me be in this short film called The Engagement, got the actor's bug, and just was hooked from there.
For sure.
So then right after that, I had another short film, and then it was another stage play called Black Diamond by Brittany Williams. So I was just trying to go out for the part, like on some, trying to get a little quick, like, hey, how you doing? Mm-hmm. Walk off stage and show my mom and my
some one-liners.
Yeah, one-liners and show everybody I'm proud. So I ended up landing the lead role.
Oh, wow.
And then it was all downhill for me. I fell in love with theater. Like, it just was, the raw emotions of live in your face, the laugh and the oohs, the eyes. Our crowd is amazing, our culture. And I just was like, man, I was like, I love this. So one of my good friends, Tony Anderson, he works for BET.
Shout out to Tony Anderson. He does a lot of good work.
Tony does everything. That's my guy. That's one of my best friends. He got me into writing. He was like, yo, you're a really good storyteller. Everybody's trying to go through this door active. Mm-hmm. Why don't you try to write and get through so you have multi-facets? Sure. He's like, yo, he's like, I write, I edit, I'm on screen, I produce, I do a bunch of things that my worth is more when you're able to do more instead of just trying to be an actor. You might find a niche in acting and that be that. You get one role and be done. So just writing.
So do you have a favorite? Do you like to act more or do you like the writing?
I like the writing part more. It's a more of an adrenaline rush because when I'm plotting it and writing it out, and when you hear it land and it hits, it's like
especially when you're in the zone flowing and it just comes out. I hear it a lot of times when people, when they go into acting, they do their first play or theater, that live audience, and the fact that you could mess up, but they kind of know, and then that's how they get hooked. What is it about it that you're just like, oh yeah, this is great? Is it the lights? Is it like everything?
Probably a little bit both the lights, and then also it's a little accelerated because not only do you have to, in film it's like cut, take this angle, and if I mess up, I could do it again. With this, it's a challenge because you have to remember a 70-page script front to back. Not only do I have to know my lines, but I have to know everyone in the room's lines,
the beats, the time.
Yep, and just in case you fall off a line, I have to bring you back. So we talking about coming in here for a Water Ice interview, and you're talking about boats that's in the next scene. I got to bring you back to like, that table,
right.
And you like, yeah, we should go to the interview today. And then just bring it back. But yeah, that's why one of the reasons I like it too.
Cool.
So is it a difference when you're writing a novel versus you're writing a screenplay?
Oh my gosh, yes. This was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Yeah. So to be totally honest, the last book I read, and it's bad because I went to college, was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
He said back when I went to college.
I never read a book. I was never.
I don't even think I read that book.
Listen, I wasn't an avid reader. I consume so many other things because I'm an audio learner.
I'm the same.
So reading things, it would be like reading out my ear, one out the other. Yeah. And it wasn't until about 4 or 5 years ago where I really start to enjoy reading. Mm-hmm. So writing the book was a little bit hard because I never read a book outside of this. So when I was reading, I was like, all right, how do I do this? Because I wanted to incorporate this into some of the things I want to do. So I picked up a hood novel and I picked up like a
classic novel or something.
A classic romantic erotic novel. So I read them both and I was like, all right, I want a medium between this because this is too raunchy and this is not me. So I have to try to blend it. And it was tough because you got to be able to taste, see, smell, everything. Like it's full contact when you're reading this stuff, when you're writing these kind of things. So it was definitely tough.
I think you said like 4 or 5 years ago is when you really started to get into reading books. I think that's like the same for me. Was it for you? Like trying to find something that interests you that you didn't want to read, or is it just like it was just, you're more like audio visual, like you said?
Well, once I'm into something, I research it all. Like it's probably one of the biggest things. I research everything from top to bottom. My competitors, how to get better, what are people doing, what are trends, what I should be looking for, shortcuts, things that I need for long term. So I really started to read more and it just got to me. So I love marketing. I love like reading and trends and our past. Like I researched my past. One of the Charlie Mack, one of my mentors, he gave me this one thing when I first got into writing. He was like, yo, you need to study everybody, and if you don't know the scripts to everybody that's bold, from August Wilson to Shakespeare on, you're never going to make it. So you need to be reading and studying and then come back and talk to me. And I was like, say no more.
Right.
Word.
So when you started to get into reading novels, what was like one of your favorite genres to kind of really read? So
I love murder mystery. I love adventure. One of the books that really got me hooked and really want to write was The Hunger Games. But I didn't read it. I put the audio book on just to hear what it sounded like. And they described eating a blueberry. I felt like the blueberry. I was eating the blueberry right in the bushes. I need some of that blueberry. As the airplanes flew over top of the I was like, wow.
That's so crazy that you said that because I normally like to actually physically touch the book and feel the book as I'm reading it. And my first audio book ever was Michelle Obama's Becoming because it's such a big book. And I took my mom to see her when she came here to Philly. So I wanted to finish the book before we went to the conference, the meet and greet thing. And I was like, this is so dope because at first I was like, I don't know if I want to listen to the book it's like it sounds weird, but it was so dope. It was her voice and it was actually like you could really kind of if you close your eyes and just listen to it, you could really physically visualize what was going on. So people sleep on audiobooks. And then I was like, I could do this while I'm in a car. I was at work listening to it.
I did 48 Laws of Power like that too. I read 48 Laws of Power twice and then listened to it twice. It's probably one of my favorite books ever.
48 Laws of Power.
Yeah, 48 Laws of Power is probably the most dominant book that you got to read. It teaches you life. If you can do sales and you read the 48 Laws of Power, you live by it, you can be a millionaire based upon those rules in itself. Like it teaches you how to navigate through the room, how to like never outshine them. It's just so many good laws in there, like so many good practices. Like it's so. I like The Alchemist too.
That's a good one. Yeah.
So I have that right now, waiting to read it.
Man, they really good books. Rich Dad Poor Dad, they're all good. And then I just read something for screenplay writers. So anybody's looking to read Save the Cat.
Okay.
Dope book for anybody that's trying to get into screenwriting or any play. Best book, man. That book taught me so much. And I went to class for it. I went back to school after I graduated. I went back to school to kind of learn how to do the nuances of that stuff.
So when you're actually developing your characters in your books, are you basing that off of people you know, or just you build it from just some
strictly imagination?
Yeah,
it's a combination of a lot. I do a lot of exercises. So one of my exercises that I do is before I used to go sit in Love Park and I sit and I just sit and I watch and I observe. So I may see a crossing guard and I say, where is she going? Why is she here? You know what I mean? Did she lose her job? Is this her favorite job? What's her favorite food? She's going home to an abusive relationship. I do certain things. But more importantly, the stories I do, I pull from stories from my peers, things that I see, things that I've gone through, and I kind of blend them together to come up with a character. I come up everything from I come up with their whole entire backstory, sign, birth date, favorite food, favorite color, what makes them angry, makes them sad, things like that, so people attach to them more. And it helps me drive as I'm writing to make certain decisions on what kind of decision they would make as I'm writing it, so it makes it easier.
So do you already know kind of what the blueprint of your story is when you're already developing those characters, or does the characters help you come up with that blueprint?
It's a little bit of both. I think I come up with the plot first, like the general of the plot first, and then once I got the basis of what I'm trying to do, I think about what the characters I need to achieve this plot this story that I'm trying to tell. So I come up with the plot first, and then I name the characters. I love naming my characters. I like one of my favorite shows, it may sound ratchet, was Flavor of Love. And shout out to nobody, I'm not feminist, but For the Love of Ray J, because I just always love when they name the girls.
They did do that. That's what their names.
So Pumpkin.
Yeah. So when I name my characters, it's specific. Like, I do hard research. I look up baby names. I look up all types of new names. So like, that's one of my favorite parts to do.
Cool. So a little bit about the book. So Twisted, Her Life is Secret. This actually started out as a play, correct?
Correct.
So why did you take the route of having the play first and then go rolling it into a novel?
So initially when I wrote the play, I got really good response. Laughy, jokey. I had Spank Horton in it, Miss Cat. I had a really good show. I had 2,400 people come out to see the show. So my business partner, Aaron Josie and Crystal Bailey, put the bug in my ear, along with Monique Elsie, who was my editor at the time, to write a book. I didn't have anything outside of my material, so she was like, yo, make a bridge in between your plays by making a book out of each thing that you write. So she was like, and also the business aspect was like, all right, if I can pump it and write a really good novel, if I can sell 3,000 copies, I'm a numbers guy, sell 3,000 copies at $10 a piece, that's 30 grand. I can put that towards my play. I can go get a big actor to liven up my brand and put something in it, or put that money into my brand.
That's that business degree coming back into it.
And I break everything down in small numbers. Sure. Like, all right, first 500, cool, I can do this in a month, and so on and so forth.
Right. So when you transitioned from the play to the book, how much more content did you have to put in it for the book? A
whole lot.
Okay.
Because it was if you ever seen Twisted, or if no one, I am going to bring Twisted back out. But for Twisted was more so laughy, jokey, just to play off of it, with a intricate story inside with Maya and Denver. The book is more of a serious tone to it, where you'll be able to relate to them a little more. It's more like movie-esque type than actual what our culture would like, and that was the initial part of Twisted, like just to go through those roller coasters of things.
Can you tell a little bit for those who do not know what Twisted's about? Just like a little.
Yeah. So Twisted, Her Life is Secret is about a couple named Maya and Denver, who are in a crossroad in a relationship where there was some infidelity, and basically Maya's intuition is kicking off, so she's figuring like, is he really cheating on me again? And if so, if I catch him cheating, I'm done. Right. So Maya comes to the point where she has some decisions to make, because these things are coming up where Denver is not as truthful as he used to be. And as the story unravels, you see certain decisions that she makes based upon the intuition, and then we come up with a lot of themes to the book of what most women go through. Is it intuition or is it overthinking? You know what I mean? And we deal with those things with women on certain their process of going through it, and that's dealing with some of the trauma that they deal with as far as hurt and pain and going through relationships. So I drove that also with a couple spins off it too, because it's based off a true story from one of my friends' story, who I got it from, who gave me the rights to basically spin off to it.
So this is a movie.
I was just about to say that. I was like, based on true events. Did you get this from like? You said you got it from a friend who basically gave you the rights to do it. So of course you changed all the names and stuff like that. But did you have to tweak anything?
Yeah, a lot. I kind of make it. I fictionalize most of it. You know what I mean? To make the story real. I embellished on a lot of things just to make the story real. Like, you'll see some of the things that happen based on a true event, like some of the things that happen throughout the course of the book. It's kind of like, all right, did this happen? Is anybody implicated in it, and things like that? But no, I embellished a little bit just to enhance the story for everyone in it. You know what I mean? But the story itself is what it is with that.
Ooh.
If you could make a film out of it real quick before we go to break, who would you have the two leading roles be? If you had any budget? whatever, that it wasn't an issue.
Who would be Maya in Denver?
I have a. Since I'm reading the book, I know.
Who would you think? I'm curious.
Me too.
For Denver, for me, I would definitely use. He plays on Queen Sugar. His name is Cordes. I can't think of his last name.
The dark skin guy?
Yes. The dark skin guy. And if for Maya, me personally, I don't know if anybody watches How to Get Away with Murder.
Yes.
A lot of people do.
Well, I mean, it fell up to me. It fell off a little bit. It's a character on How to Get Away with Murder. I'm drawing a blank right now. I can see her face. The lawyer, the younger lawyer. She's a really good actor.
She's a really good actress.
I can see her. But I mean, those are not like they're not high budget people.
Right. But it's someone who will pull off the role.
Absolutely. Yeah. I could totally see her being like Maya because she's kind of like high maintenance.
And this could be the film that breaks that person.
It could
Do
be.
you have
Michael B would definitely be Denver.
Okay.
You think so? Wow, he could pull it off.
Because I seen some of his raw emotions on how Denver is just nonchalant, and Maya is tough. You know, I think I would kill it probably too. I'll keep it hometown. Nafisa Williams.
Oh yeah, I like Nafisa. She's
would
good.
Be a good Maya.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm okay with that.
She's killing it right now.
Shout out to Nafisa.
She's killing it right now on
Black Lightning.
Black Lightning. Yep, I was about to say Flash. All right, let's go to a quick break.
Yep.
And when we come back, I want to kind of like get into the book as far as I have some like relationship like questions about the different stuff that's kind of going on to the book and how it relates to like real life.
And how you could help Lauren to continue her book.
Let's go, Lauren. Let's go.
Because she got stories.
Well, I'll tell y'all on the break. All right, it's your girl Lauren Rei right here on What Ice Radio. We'll be right back. We are back, everybody. It's your girl Lauren Rei right here on What Ice Radio. We have Brad Baker in the building. He is the author of Twisted, Her Life, His Secret. And we're getting to like the good stuff. We can't give everything away. Right. I'm actually in the process of reading the book.
Okay.
It is really, really good. I mean, from the very beginning,
it grabs
you from the very beginning. And I was just telling Linnea before we started the interview that if the book doesn't get me within the first 10 to 20 pages, I
feel like that's with anything, right? Like TV show, movie, anything. Yeah.
And I have to be able to visualize it. So in my mind, when I'm reading the book, I can see Denver. I can see Maya. The whole, like, it's this one scene, I don't want to give too much away, where she's like, yo, it's either you going to settle down or not. And, like, you know, total woman scene. Like, you come in, give him his favorite piece of food. Like, we need to talk about something. I could see the whole thing playing out in my head. Like, and he looking like, oh, sure, here we go. Here it comes. Like, he knows what's happening, right? Up. But it's so funny because as I'm reading it, I'm totally zoned. I'm totally visualizing this actually happening. I'm like, I'm almost missed my train stop. Right? So that's how the book, like, gets you. So everybody, you got to go get the book.
Sure.
Because we don't want to get too much of it away. But the book is based all around a relationship, right?
Right.
So it talks a ton about trust and forgiveness.
Absolutely.
So my question is how important is it to have those things in a relationship, and does one outweigh? Should you have more one than the other?
That's a good question.
I think it's equally yoked. I just read something. A good friend sent me something the other day about hiding and healing about your heart. Are you hiding or are you healing? And majority of the times when you have trust and forgiveness, they're congruent with each other. Because once you lose one, you know what I mean, it's kind of you lose one or you lose pretty much both of them.
Right.
But in relationship wise, I think it's so important. That's why I write these stories to kind of see sometimes how ridiculous some things happen when it comes to just not communicating. You know what I mean? Just simple communication can blur lines of trust and loyalty. You know what I mean? If you just have simple conversation with your mate, and that's just the basis of it. You know.
So Maya has done a lot of forgiving with Denver. So do you think that with women we tend to forgive more than men, especially in these situations of infidelity?
Yep. And that's why I wanted to exploit it. Women forgive. Women are so strong. Like I love women, black women in general, but y'all are so strong, man. Certain things that you you women wear compared to what we could wear, we could never do the things that you do. You know what I mean? And it sounds double standards, and it's not fair in the ways that you have to continue to forgive to see potential in something because you see someone outside of their normal state that they don't see, and they may not never reach that full potential, but you guys give so much energy towards it. And I wanted to kind of exploit it in Maya's end to kind of say, like, when is your give? When is your break? When is enough?
Right.
You know what I mean? When is that, like, this is it?
It's the tipping point.
Yeah.
Right,
and I'm sure you've had tons of conversations with women in regards to some of these things, even to be able to develop this type of character like Maya. So you said you got this from a friend. Were you able to talk to his girlfriend or whatever to also all from his perspective?
No, I just got his perspective.
Okay.
I could give you the backstory. This is real. I'll give you a backstory of Twisted real quick. Give you elevator pitch. So Twisted is about my friend. He got caught in a threesome by his girlfriend.
Like literally, like she walked in
on it.
Huh.
Whoa.
Okay.
So his initial question was, I'm really good with advice. So his initial question was, Brad, am I able to get my girlfriend back because she walked in on it? So
it should have been no. Sorry.
Right, I'm over like.
So I was twofold. So I was playing devil advocate. In my mind, I already knew it was no, but the rational in me was like, well, maybe not, because maybe she doesn't see the love and affection of just you got two. It's not just one that she cuddled with. So long story short, I'm gonna give you other people.
You're a good salesman.
Yeah. So long story short, this is where Twisted come from. This is exclusive. So I never really told anyone this part.
Okay.
So Twisted is about that my friend. So long story short, they were in a new relationship, and when you're in a new relationship, all you want to do is be up under your significant other.
Absolutely.
Honeymoon stage,
right?
Yeah, honeymoon stage. So you pretty much know everything. So during the course of that, they basically, she wanted to go out. He got an opportunity. She wanted to go out with her friends, so he had an opportunity to deal with some women. So when you're in a relationship, you kind of know each other's schedule. I know Lauren. If we're together, I know when you eat, when you leave. If you're going to the club,
right,
you're gonna call me on your way.
On the way home, blah, blah, blah.
All
routines, right?
So they were sitting there. She was like, I don't want to go out. I just want to chill. I just want to be around you. That's not me no more. And she's like, go ahead, go. Just go out.
Like he was pushing her.
Just go out. Just have fun. I'll just see you tomorrow. You can be up under me tomorrow. We can go do something fun. She was like, all right. So as she gets out, she's calling them the same routine, shower, whatever. She gets to the club. As she gets there, of course, you women, once you're out, you're like, this is not my scene no more. I'd rather be home with my man.
But this happened several times recently.
You still had that responsibility to your girlfriends to kind of be out with them to spend the time. And the girlfriends really missed you, so they want to be out.
And they will clown you about it if you don't.
So they're drinking. She's like, I'm ready to go. And they're like, just have one more drink. So she's texting my friend like, it's no way he sleep. I just talked to him an hour ago. It's no way he sleep. So she's like, all right, I'll have one drink. She has a drink, calling him. He's not picking up. So she drives to the house. As she drives to the house, she pulls up and sees an unfamiliar car in the driveway. So she's like, all right. Knocks on the door. Nobody answers. She goes to the neighbor's house. Hey, I'm locked out. Can I have the key? Gives him the key.
Whoa.
Opens the door.
Because they've seen her before, so it's not
So
unfamiliar.
they've been together for 6 months.
Right.
So she opens the door. She sees 2 pocketbooks and hears music upstairs. So she's like,
yeah, that's a scene.
Maybe it's cousin.
It's called a murder scene.
So she walks up the steps, and as she walks up the steps, the music gets louder, and she hears like these moans.
The Trey songs, I've been to sex.
Yeah, something like that. I don't
Neighbors
know
know my name.
Maybe you should ask him what song was playing. So as she walking in, she turns the hall light on. He sees the light burn on the door, so he's like, "What the?" So she comes in, opens the door, turns the light on, and
that's it.
Catches them in there. So, and I'm like. Originally, I'm like, oh, this is a good story. I'm like, yo, what if the girl came in and looked like she was really mad at him, but she was really mad at the girl? But I was like, damn, I'm not authentic enough to tell a lesbian story or, of that kind. So I would be doing a disservice to women to telling that story when I really don't know that much. I could research it, but for me to put my readers and my people, and I didn't. So I was like, so the girls are looking at her like, either join or get out. So, of course, she came in and flipped out. They picked up what was going on, grabbed the stuff, and ran out, and that's where Twisted started. So premise of that was based upon that, the building of their relationship, how they met, what they did, and what it took for him to get her attention, which is all true, all facts. All that stuff is true on how he got her. And
from the very beginning,
from the beginning,
right?
Yeah.
And it's the conversations afterwards.
Yeah, then how do we get from this point?
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot. So I was like, oh, this is a play. This is my first one. You gotta let me tell it.
And that's me. I'm like, one of y'all can live. So y'all pick who wants to live. The other two gotta die.
Me, Aries Lauren is saying we all gonna die today.
That's tough, man. I mean, it's tough. I mean, she could have lost it too, but it was like, it made me question it. Like, well, maybe it wasn't too intimate enough where it was just like, oh, is this out of your system? Is this your thing? Or what made you do it? What's your whys? My thing with anything in life is to find people's whys. If you find people's whys, you can understand them in general. So
that's cool.
That's crazy.
I'm very interested in like when things are getting made, like the creative process. And you mentioned before how you may go to like Love Park and kind of people watch and kind of develop a story behind someone. Is there any other like routine that you have to go through when you're writing anything? Like some people say like write drunk and then edit sober sort of thing, or is there something you have to have when you're in the process of writing, when you're actually putting the words to paper or words to the computer?
Before I write, before I touch anything, there's two things I do. One, I make a song playlist of a bunch of R&B songs that I like. The second most important thing that I do is I breathe and I meditate to Guape's Closer to My Dreams. And I close my eyes and I envision everything. I see the red carpet, I see the lights, I see the laughter, I see someone picking up my book, reading it, enjoying it, I see someone getting a lesson from it. I do it every single time, and it manifests in me to make me like, I see everything, and it makes me believe in myself. When I quit, I meditate, I block everything out, I see what's in front of me, I breathe and what I'm trying to accomplish, and I go from there.
So is it like a when you start you can't finish, or do you take like, is it kind of like
hour and a half a day?
Okay.
I write every day for an hour and a half. Anything outside an hour and a half is overkill. I don't do two more. Once I capture whatever in an hour and a half, anything else I can do research with or something to my business, but actually physically writing only gets an hour and a half of my time.
Wow. So bringing it back to Denver. So Denver is kind of like a lot of men. Like he likes to play the game until he gets caught.
Absolutely.
And he also knows he has a good thing, but he still plays with it. So, I mean, why do you think that's kind of like, why are you laughing?
No, I'm like, yeah, that's fair.
That's fair, right? So, why do you think a lot of men kind of like risk it all?
It's maturity. One, people don't change unless the consequences are so high that it forces them to change. And for Denver, the consequences haven't been so steep because she always comes back. As women, if I feel like I am going to lose you, I am going to change. Or if I feel like I'm going to lose something because of the consequences of my actions, I'm going to say I have to do it. You know what I mean? And that is going to be your why to why I'm stopping, along with maturity and other factors. But I solely believe that.
That's a good answer.
Good.
I have to agree with that.
So I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to let you think about it, and then we're going to go to a break and come back.
All right.
So do you think women cheat more than men? And if so, is it just because, or if we don't know, I'm sorry, let me take that back. Is it just because one is better at it than the other?
Okay.
So that's the
I
question.
got my answer to that.
I know you got your answer. I have my answer too. We'll all answer it, but I want to hear your answer. It's your girl Lauren Rei right here on What Ice Radio. We will be right back. We are back, everybody. It's your girl Lauren Rei right here on What Ice Radio. Shout out to my boy Jada Gentleman is here with me.
Yeah.
We have author, playwriter, actor, producer, everything
extraordinaire,
right? Brad Baker in the building.
I'm really having a great time, man. I'm learning a lot. I love writers and like how they think, so this is good stuff for sure.
And before we went to break, I threw a good question at Brad, and I asked him, do you think women cheat more than men, or do you just think one does it better than the other? Because we deal with a lot of cheating in this book. So what's your thought process behind that?
All right, so that's twofold. I think it's the biggest myth ever that women cheat more or better than men. I think men are super greedy. So men won't just cheat with one, they will cheat with multiples. And the fact that you're cheating with so many women at one time, it feels like for a woman that you're this great cheater, but it's easy to be a great cheater when you have 1 to 2 opposed to someone that's only paying attention to multiple women that they're doing. So I really think that's a myth. I think men cheat more. Women cheat smarter. Men cheat for stupid reasons. Women cheat for particular reasons.
Right.
I agree with that.
I would say to that point, men definitely cheat more. I just feel like women are bigger cheaters in the sense that.
Okay, I was about to say, what do you mean by bigger?
In the sense that, like, if a dude would cheat on the girl, it'd be with some other random people, whatever. But that girl would probably cheat on him with like his boy or like something closer to.
They go for the dramatic, like the big thing, like, for the gusto.
Right.
I'm gonna sleep with your dad.
Right. Right. I was gonna say like something. It's a little bit more to heart. You know what I mean? And that's,
Renee is laughing at me because
it's real.
It's true.
No, that's how, and that's something I think Chris Rock had said in one of his, and I was like, I have to agree with that. Like, he was like, men are lie the most, but women are bigger liars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think that I'll agree with Brad when I say that. I think that men cheat in bigger quantities. Like, it's something to say to be able to juggle 4 to 5 women.
I don't know how people do that. I don't have enough time for myself.
Chris does it in the book with Twisted. He got 2 girlfriends.
Yeah, like it's
so much work.
And
it's too much.
And women are more so like, being a woman, I would say that, and I'm not going to say I haven't. I have cheated on someone, but like you said, it's more so of an attention reason, or we do like to be petty and get back at you. Like, oh, you did it to me, I'm gonna do it to you, and then see how you feel when you find out. Like, I think we almost want them to find out, right?
Absolutely. For sure.
So then we could be
and
like,
we're so dumb
and
that
then
we don't even know that.
stage left. Like, okay, we wanted you to see it,
right?
Wanted you to feel it. Now I'm done, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So, but I do believe that when people say, "Oh, women don't cheat," or you know, trying to say when they throw those type of things out there, I'm like, nah, that's not true. I think like women, just like I think that women talk about sex just as much as men do.
I feel like y'all are nastier.
It's definitely changed, man. There's a lot of pendulum switching when it comes to like.
Or if not,
y'all's conversations would be drawing.
Or if not more, we don't talk about it more. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it used to be a myth that women don't watch pornography, and that's not true. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, there was one of the things about one of the characters in here, she likes sex toys. You know what I mean? And that's something that women always try to keep like a big secret. But now it's like so like
y'all are investing in that.
So bold.
It's so bold.
Hundreds of dollars.
So I just think it's like a transition. So why do you think women are being so more open and free with their like being sexually fluid and different things of that nature?
So I think it's the pendulum swung. So before I used to believe that women read their porn, men watch their porn, and now it's the total opposite, where they watch it more exploratory. Women are more becoming of themselves and understanding themselves more so than anything. So we're in an era of acceptance. Either you accept me for who I am or you don't. So it's a lot of power in that, and women are is the driving force to that, because a lot of things you guys do, you guys rule the world, like, you know what I mean, so to speak. So you live in your truths now instead of being shunned and it being taboo so much.
To go off of that, I think it's also like, you know, I don't know, it was the 60s or 70s, the sexual revolution, and how women really kind of like owning up to things, and then it got to a point where it was like men were taking advantage of that and whatever, so they kind of had to like kind of
draw back.
Yeah. Kind of like, you know, keep things to themselves. So it was a little bit more. But now it's like with everybody speaking out on these people who are doing these things, they're kind of having more of a freedoms and to be, like you said, who they really want to be, and being honest about it. Because it's really hard to not be aware of what's going on when there's social media and there's, you know, anybody could go on Pornhub and, you know what I mean?
Right.
And sex is a $1 trillion industry. Most of these apps that get started are coming from, you know, sex, and if there's more women on earth than men, then it makes sense that, you know what I mean? So it's just a lot of numbers, like how you say, it's all just coming out like statistically.
A bunch of single women and lonely women out here too, man, sharing men. So you gotta find fill the void.
Great
okay with being
great transition to my next question.
We talk about this a lot.
We talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
So we talked a lot about in the book, like the big thing was like someone they have a threesome and stuff like that. And it almost seems like that because the ratio for women to men is such a gap, right? That women now, for some reason, to me, it seems like they're so much more willing to do things that they would never do before to kind of either keep a man or grasp a man's attention.
I also think it's empowering too, because they're like, I want to do this. This is my decision. This is what I want to do.
I've heard more stories about girls like, we try to have it like girls in relationships that were open to having threesomes with their boyfriends, and just being like, well, as long as I know the girl, like I'm cool with it kind of thing. And I'm just like, word?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
and so do you think that's a more so, this is an easy way for me to slide in, that this is the type of, no pun intended, of the things that I like to do, or let me keep my man close to me, or he's going to try this somewhere else?
It could be it could be twofold. You feel like if you giving him the cookies, he doesn't have to go out to the store to go get the cookies. Kind of like you could police it together. I mean, it depends on certain relationships. Now they're more open nowadays. People are more considerate to each other's feelings. The rationale of monogamy is really tough. It's tough.
Listen, we've had someone on the show that they live a polyamory life, and it's like people are more open to that stuff now. It's really like,
I think there's also more information on certain things
Right.
too. Like at first, like people are like, why you want somebody else? But it's not that. It's like there's something behind it.
Right.
I think everyone thinks there's a sexual motive behind
Right.
it more so than other things that possibly kind of
Correct.
sort of come along with
People
it.
see it now. Forever's forever. The driving force to divorce is 50-50. Numbers don't lie. So it's
Yes.
like you're more of a partnership. And if we're going to do this forever, what can we do
Right.
to compromise to each other?
40 years, 50 years is a long time.
That's a
Yeah,
long,
but I don't
long
think my
time.
grandma and my grandpa was like,
Different.
Well, it's different eras.
Different
Different eras.
era.
Totally different
You know
era. It
what I'm
just
saying?
changed, man. It's,
So I
and it's
mean,
going to even get worse now.
That conversation reminds me of like the show Mad Men. Like how everybody was all the glory days of the 60s, and there's the moms at home cooking, but
Right.
it was like all the dudes were cheating on their wives, the wives were cheating on their husbands, like that
behind the scenes.
that's not
everything,
your
yeah.
dog, like, and that's like I was really happy that they showed that, because I was like, this can't just be something new. This has been going on forever.
But do you think that like the time that we live in right now, social media, I know we say it all the time, but just everything is so instant gratification that it's going to be harder for these relationships to maintain and last, because it feels like someone's always seeking something else that's out there.
Right. I believe that you are as faithful as your options. Social media is the grass is greener, everything. You're going to see the prettiest girls. You're going to see everybody that posts their highlights.
Right.
So, of course, when you see relationships post their highlights, you see
Filters.
filters and all this stuff, and you see different women and single women having a good time. It's tough, man. It's tough nowadays. You got to kind of be stuck in your own grassroots of what your why is and what makes you tick, as far as if that's really for you or not. I mean, for me, traditional marriage, I can... with the era how it's pushing, I can see it almost being like a stink or almost dropping so much outside of business. It's like too much to risk, what I mean? Even for the low end middle class, like it just almost seems like it's not worth it.
I think that's your next series of books.
Right.
Modern dating.
Modern dating,
is
right?
tough, man.
Swipe right.
Especially dating after 30 is tough.
Yeah.
Dating after 30 is
Conversations we
the
have.
pits. I'm on record to say that it's the word.
Two T's.
Woo!
It's tough for women after 30 because women get old, men don't. Like that genre sticks
Yeah.
true.
I'm about to
man.
say, child. I don't even want to.
The biology behind it all changes.
It's all
way more.
changing.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard. We talk about the dating
All the
crisis.
time. That's why I love like a show like Master of None, or even his book Modern Romance, I believe. Like basically the show's based off his book, and it's like different episodes are different themes of dating and being single, and especially at our age and stuff. So we definitely relate to it a lot, and it's a lot of stuff that's going on in the books, and like what we're talking about is definitely what's going on in real life. And it's tough.
Now, it's really
Very interesting, and I'm sure it'll give you more inspiration for writing.
Yeah.
for writing for sure.
Yeah.
So you balance work, family. How do you kind of like? Do you make time for yourself? Do you make time for love? Like, how does that work?
Scheduling is everything. Like in the process of where I'm heading and where I'm trying to go, scheduling is everything. I schedule out my entire day from gym, writing, alone time for myself, family, kids, things of that nature. It's tough, man. When you chasing your dreams, a lot of things are sacrificed. You know what I mean? Your love life, spending time with others, being out where you can't be. I'm almost never out. So if I'm out, it's like almost like a cameo type of thing.
Right.
Because I'm so engulfed in trying to get to another level.
better.
You know what I mean? And
I
it's
get
just
it.
that way. You know what I mean? And some people can accept it, some don't. But
Yeah, my mom
it's
just
tough.
called me the other day. Like, can I get on your schedule or no?
Right.
Like, Yeah.
I saw my dad, my brother for like first time in like 2 months.
It's hard. It's
I definitely get
hard
that
out here. Do you instill your work ethic in your children?
Always. My son has his own YouTube channel.
He does.
Awesome.
My daughter, I'm super proud of her. She did her first wash and curl yesterday at 15 years old. It looks amazing. I'm gonna show you guys that.
Okay.
But she's we're grooming her. Like, I went to school for business. Her mom she's been doing cosmetology. I've been a hairstylist for a while, so she owns her own business. It has a few stylists in there. So I was like, yo, this is the plan. You go to cosmetology, you learn everything about it. You know how to color, you know how to cut, you do everything. You go to school, get your business degree, and then when you come out, you're gonna open up your own beauty supply store, and you go over in there. That's where the money's at.
Word.
Right. That
So
is.
Those are never going out of business.
Never going out of
5 to
business.
6 year business is dope because her mom just opened up the first black-owned beauty salon in Phoenixville.
Nice.
Oh, shout that out. What's the name of the store?
Diamond Dial Hair Studios. It's called Ryan Sky in Phoenixville.
Ryan Sky.
Yeah, so it's dope. So first black owned in Phoenixville. She has her storefront in the front, and then she has a salon in the back.
That's what's up.
That's dope because I went to school in the suburbs, and that was like one of the things that was non-existent, right? They was like, oh, you can go to, I'm like, Sally's. There's not no black products at Sally's.
They had like little side shelf.
Yeah, I used to be like, Mom, why did you move us out here? We was cool in Uptown, so we had to go back down 309 to go to Cheltenham to be able to go to a hair store or wherever. So I'm loving the fact that black women are starting to get more into that business and having their own beauty supply stores, because it always seems as though that door was closed for us. So shout out to that for sure.
Yeah.
And shout out to you. You just recently got an award.
Yeah. With
Rising
Hennessy.
Star Award from Hennessy.
Yeah, that was dope. That was a cool moment, man. The crazy is I don't get too nervous about too much. I was actually nervous when I was in there, just to be around some of my peers that have accomplished certain things. I knew a few people in the room, but for me, it was a long time coming. Like, this is not an overnight thing. I've been doing this for 10 years, like 7 to 10 years. I'm on my 10 years acting, 7 years actually writing. So I got a 3-year process to this, and it takes 10 years. But to be recognized, some of the things that I went through, I made it a point to kind of like state my claim when I said my speech. A lot of people, when you get to a pinnacle of your career and you're reaching certain levels, people never reach back to drop the ladder down to be like, here I am. This is how you get here. Climb up. And I made it a point to tell them that, because they've seen me, they've known me, and they have busy schedules, and it just takes no time to have a conversation with somebody and to reach back and do it. But it was really dope. Got a chance to be around some amazing peers who won awards that I've known and I admire. I was inspired. It made me even more hungrier to say, all right, what's next? Is this the BET award next? Is it the NCAA?
It holds you accountable.
Is it the Essence Award? Is it this? My footsteps, they hear my footsteps. I'm coming.
That's what's up.
I'm not backing down.
So on your Insta story one time, and it was so scary because we were actually here in the studio and we were talking about it. And then I had happened to go on Instagram, and on your Insta story, you had talked about the lack of customer service in the black community, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Another thing that we talk about
Another thing
often.
that we talk about a lot. How do you try to maintain, because you are still in customer service, right? How do you try to maintain that level of customer service when it comes to like starting your shows on time,
like business ethics
and things of that nature?
My pet peeve is punctuality. Everything has to be on time. Everything is scheduled. Everything is supposed to be on time. You are supposed to give your customers 120%. They are always right, and if not, you find the right in it. And I'm big on that. You get more be here on time or certain things, or if I have a clothing, it could be the worst t-shirt line ever, but if I'm getting my t-shirt right away and you're friendly with it, it makes me say, you know what, I'm gonna give you another play again. And it's so important that black folks don't incorporate that into their business. That should be a training mechanism where you do. I train all my people that's in my staff. They have certain things they have to say. Thank you for coming. Welcome. We'll see you again. Thank you so much for coming.
It's the Chick-fil-A model. My pleasure.
They rule the world. My pleasure. And it is, and it goes a long way. Like, and because we have those beautiful ideas in the culture, and we have some great products, but the customer service is so bad. The food is not on time, or it's cold, or
lethargic, lollygagging.
The people that you got at the front window ain't happy to see you.
Man, you gotta be excited, man. You gotta instill that into your brand, and I drive that as a culture. Like if we used to say, and I said, if one person has a bad seat, everybody had a bad seat in this play. You know what I mean? And I drive that. If one person had a bad experience and everyone had a bad experience, we fail.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the weak link? Because we're at a time right now where our black and brown people, we out here moving, entrepreneurs, the numbers are going up crazy,
Startups,
right?
yeah.
It's like I'm supporting so many people, you know, that look like me now, and it's a wonderful thing. So we have so many great ideas, like you said, and we want to push the product out there or the service out there. But why do you think we're missing that one piece?
It's a lack of want. It's consistency and something that you really take personally. You know what I mean? I take personal. I love great service. Like, I'm a really good tipper. If I really receive really good service, I will tip you above and beyond. Probably, I've tipped more than what my bill is at sometimes. You have to have that courtesy. Without your customer, you are not a business. If people don't understand that first, without your customer, you are nothing. And until you figure that out, you'll always have mediocrity as far as how you'll have a ceiling to how far your business can grow. But if I have that customer service based driven company, sky's the limit.
What was the quote today? We need to stop validating mediocrity.
We need to stop validating mediocrity. Yeah. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we want to know what's in the future for Brad Baker. I know you got some stuff coming up, and we'll just close everything out.
Yep.
All right, everybody, it's your girl Lauren Rei right here, Water Ice Radio. Brad Baker, Jada Gentleman, the whole Water Ice team is here. We'll be right back. We are back, everybody. It's your girl Lauren Rei right here, Water Ice Radio.
Yeah.
Jada Gentleman's in the building.
Yep.
Brad Baker is here, and we just learned so much stuff.
Yeah, man.
Outside of the writing stuff, just a good perspective is you as a whole. So, of course, thank you for giving us all of that.
Thank you.
But we want to know what you got coming up next. So we know that Twisted is a trilogy.
Yes.
So the second book?
So part 2 is supposed to be coming out. Projected to come out in the fall.
Nice.
In addition, I have another play which I co-wrote with Sheena Gates. Shout out to Sheena Gates. She got a new book come out called Unplugged. Called Letter from a Mistress, 2 Truths and a Lie. So we finished it. She's probably, every time I have an interview, she's like, but we finished it and it gave us Why Did I Get Married remix.
Okay.
So it felt good. It was a really good story, but it didn't feel legendary to me. I want legendary stuff. So what we did was we ended up taking one of the couples out of it and adding Tony and Bernard into it.
A gay couple.
They're not gay.
Oh, okay.
So they think they're, when they come in, so they're on a mancation, but they end up going to a married resort. So when they come in, they ask them like, hey, you guys together?
Okay.
And they're older, so Tony and Bernard are hilarious. So it's super funny. So, and they got to deal with a bunch of stuff. Hold on, where's the lie? I think I got a long lie here.
Nice.
But yeah, that's coming up. I'll tell you guys later. But yeah, Letter from a Mistress, 2 Truths and a Lie, hilarious play. My very first murder mystery-esque play.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier.
Yeah, so that's coming up. Chasing Cash is in the process of being toured right now.
Nice.
So
very nice.
Got a couple cities coming up for that. And then in the spring of 2020, we have The Corner. That's about 2 guys that were in the streets one was trying to get out and one had 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and they both get killed on the corner. They come back to relive their last 10 days to see who set them up and killed them. So that's my next play.
That's really nice.
You're moving.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
3-year process.
Yeah, for sure.
So do you ever plan on getting back on the stage?
I get this question all the time. I had the itch to do it, but
it has to be something like really compelling for you to do it.
Yeah, that, and it was tough when I first originally did it, because when I did Twisted originally, I starred in it and I played Denver at one point, and it was tough doing the business, the 80-page script, so you lose something when you're not paying attention full. And I respect the craft so much that I don't want to give it half of my energy, because I'm split so much, or third. So it got to be a really good opportunity, or my business has to be really, really in order for me to feel like I can do a role. And I probably would do something small in like a little web series or something like that I plan on putting out as well.
So I was just gonna say, Twisted should definitely be a web series or a movie.
I was thinking that. Yeah, you know what? I'm probably gonna break the script down and I'm gonna make this.
I can see like a series for sure.
Oh, it's really good, and like you could paint it and see it, and it would. Yeah.
I'm with that. So I have a really quick question. I always torture Lauren. I'm always asking her when you're gonna write the book.
I was just about to ask him. Let me live. I was gonna ask him. Go ahead. I'll let you go ahead.
No, because she like she showed me some concepts about how her chapters and how like certain layouts, and I thought that was really fresh, like and dope, like just fresh in the sense of like it would be cool to see in a book. What do you have, not only for her, but like other people who are kind of
you steal my question?
trying to write a book, don't know if they, if it's really for them, but they have some ideas. Like, do you have any advice for them?
So one, write everything down. Whatever you want to do, put pen to paper and write it down. Two, there's a few processes that I do when I come to writing or writing a book. And it comes down to generic things that you were doing as a kid, brainstorming, and then writing a plot out from beginning to end. Once you write the story out of what you're trying to go to, you can easily figure out the story from there. So when I do it, I write out the story on how I do it, and probably like a 1 or 2 page thing on where I see it, like quick summary of it. Then I break it down as an outline, and I might do scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, or chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. So for instance, chapter 1 would be, anything can happen today. I got stuck in traffic, but long as I made it here, and I said something about me being at Water Ice, and for an interview happens, that'll parlay on to chapter 2, where somebody heard my interview on Water Ice to say, oh, I heard you on here. I want to pull you in for an interview to bring you to Sony to meet Tyler Perry, to come from there. And then after that, I go back downstairs, and then chapter 3, I meet Tyler, and then I come back to Water Ice. So everything ties itself together.
Okay.
So make an outline, write down brainstorming, plot, outline, and then you're ready to go.
So since Jay stole my question,
I bet not
it's
really.
Cool. Jay has been pushing me. Every now and then he gets in his bag. So I will say this for myself. Most of my thing about writing my book has to all do with fear, right? I'm like, who wants to hear my story? Who wants to hear, not necessarily my story, but the concept that I had as a book? And I'm sure possibly maybe you had that at one point. So how do you tell the person like myself who definitely has a dope concept for a book, but it's just kind of sort of that fear thing is that roadblock for them? You
touch one person, you have accomplished a lot. So don't wear the pressure, or wear. I talk a lot about wearing things. Don't wear that pressure. Like it's only an obstacle. It's only in your head. I'm pretty sure if Jay said it, and I know from you and just how articulate you are, and just talking to you and following you guys and how you are, is going to be amazing. Have that confidence in you, in your project, right, and what you do. You have a following for a reason. People like to listen to you for a reason. People are hearing you for a reason. Use that to drive that fear out, because Will Smith says a lot. In the heart of fear is bliss, and if you go straight to the heart of fear, man, it's everything that you expected and more, man. I have it every time I write a play. Are they gonna like it? And I used to wear it, and I used to be so stressed out and went bald, but and be stressed out about it, and I'll let it go, and it just is what it is.
You put it on the universe, and
that's it. You speak it. That's part of me listening to Closer to My Dreams. I speak it, and when you speak it to an existence, speak your fears out of it. You know what I mean? Speak it. This is gonna be the greatest book. People are gonna love it. They're gonna see it. They're gonna want part 2. They're gonna want me to write another book. They're gonna want this. And if you see it and you believe it and you speak it, you become it. Words have power, and people don't know the power of the tongue and the power of words. And if you speak it in existence and you hear it and you see it every day, and if you want it, you go get it. And that's the only difference between me and anybody else, is that I speak it, and then I turn that speaking into action.
Doing it. And I feel like it's one of those things, like once you do it and you're like, why didn't I do this before?
Yes,
all the time. I'm like, why did I just do this before? Why am I drawing?
Right.
All the time.
You learn so much, man. You learn so much. Just do it, man. Just do it. Just forget it all. Be vulnerable. Strip yourself down naked. Let everyone see you, and just do it.
Sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But how can people get the book?
It's right now. It's on Amazon.com. Twisted Her Life is Secret. It's also on BradBakerProductions.com as well. But you can go to Amazon to go get it. I push everybody there. The Kindle version will be out probably in the next couple weeks. We'll push the Kindle version.
Audiobook?
I was just going to ask that.
I am going to do an audiobook. And when I produce the audiobook, it's not going to be your traditional audiobook. I'm going to have music. You're going to hear the doors closing. You're going to hear.
Almost like the back in the day when people listen to the radio.
Back in the day when you used to sit in a little huddle in kindergarten and listen to it. So it's going to be a really, really produced audiobook.
That's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be a new wave of it. A lot of urban fiction is not doing it. I'm gonna cast for a voice. I don't know if I'm gonna cast for every voice, but I probably want to cast for one female voice that has a pace and good diction, you know, that'll drive us through, and then add all the sounds and things to it, you know, I mean, to produce it how it should be for an audiobook, you know, something to listen to, and it's going to change it. And I'm going to take your advice.
Okay.
Twisted is going to become a web series.
It should. It really should. Yeah. And like I said, I'm not even all the way through the book, but just where I'm at, and you can kind of just see it all and visualize it. It definitely needs to be a web series for sure. How can they follow you?
Yeah,
I'm on Instagram under Brad Baker Productions. So you can follow me on there, all my content, anything that I got coming up with my business. Also on Facebook, I have a Brad Baker Production fan page. Unfortunately, I don't have any more friends I'm allowed on Facebook. I'm at the cap, so I can't, unfortunately.
It's a good thing.
Good thing.
It's a good cap. Yeah, so I can do it. And it was crazy today. Which was dope, and I'll share this before we go. I had you know, Facebook, it gives you like memories of what happened. So this day last year, Kevin Hart posted all my stuff on his social media.
Nice.
For Twisted.
Nice.
That's dope.
That's
dope.
On
his Instagram, his
exactly
Twitter. Yep, and Facebook a year ago today. Coincidence, we sitting down here today talking about Twisted. So I was like, wow.
I love it.
It's all moving.
Yes, it is. Well, again, Brad, thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you guys, man.
I love your insight with everything. But you know, like we always say, you come here once, come here twice. You're now family. So please come through with anything that you have for us.
Book number 2 drops. You got to come back.
Yeah,
I'm here for everything.
When the web series drops, we're gonna keep speaking that into existence.
That on the show.
So you gotta gotta come back for that as well. Well, all right, everybody.
Love it.
Another great, amazing episode of the Lauren Rei
Amazon.com. Go find that book.
Yeah, I'm about to have Brad sign my book right now.
Yes.
We'll take some pictures of that as well so you guys can get it.
Yep.
We will be back next week with another amazing show. We have another amazing guest coming on. We just got a lot of stuff going on at Water Ice Radio. First, let me shout out the whole entire team. Shout out to Cultural Behavior. That's Jasmine and Ed Hip. Shout out to the Drop Night Show. Shout out to Weird is the New Black. Shout out to us. Who am I missing? I know I'm missing somebody. Shout out to the Chill Spot.
Yeah.
And you guys, we have some really, really, really good additions
coming soon. Very soon.
I'm so excited. I've been working so hard. And we're signing on some really new, good, and different stuff. Yeah. Not the stuff that you probably are already thinking. We got some good, different stuff coming on. So make sure you are following us on all major streaming platforms. So that's Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Apple Podcasts,
YouTube,
all that stuff. If you can visualize it and hear it, we're on there.
We're there.
Right? And shout out to Water Ice. We are your scoop to Philly. Make sure you guys sign up for our the website and our newsletter.
Yep.
Yes. And if you're in Philly, make sure you check us out at all your local newsstands.
Yeah.
Is that it? Did I cover it all?
Pretty much.
All this, not shameless, but shameless plugs?
I ain't no shame behind it.
No shame behind it. We out here.
We out working.
We out here.
Start crying. We're working.
We tired. All right, everybody. It's your girl, Lauren Rei. And you know how we always end the show. Not all superheroes wear capes, but sometimes they wear headphones. Peace.